Television. First, good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultan of Oman Television. First, the headlines. His Highness Said Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed receives the Chairman of the State Council and honourable members of the Council within the framework of the joint coordination between the Council of Ministers and the Council of Oman. The Embassy of the Sultan of Oman evacuates Omani citizens and their families from Khartoum. Sales of residential units of Hay Al Sahil project in the Wilaya of Khuriyat is launched. And the municipal councils in the governorates of Al-Dhufar, Al-Lahira, North and South Al Khuriyat and Al-Wusta discuss developing services and projects in the wilayas of the governorates. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Highness Said Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, and the Excellencies members of the Council of Ministers received today His Excellency Sheikh Abdul Malik bin Abdullah Al Khalili, Chairman of the State Council, and members of the State Council as part of the joint coordination between the Council of Ministers and the Council of Oman. At the beginning of the attending members were welcomed. After that, a joint meeting between both sides was held in the conference hall with the basic statutes of the state of the law of the Council of Oman, and as part of the continuous coordination between all state institutions to arrive at joint visions that facilitate integration to achieve the sought national policies. At the beginning of the joint meeting, His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers stressed on the government's appreciation of the role shouldered by the State Council and incorporating with the Council of Ministers to implement development plans to provide better services to citizens. During the meeting, the importance of continuing the cooperation and the exchange of opinion to serve the country's interests were highlighted. The meeting also underpinned the significance of making better use of the State Council, varied experiences and the proposals and studies regarding various matters that support government efforts in implementing development plans, which in turn will achieve the advancement in national work. From the State Council side, His Excellency the Chairman and the Council members expressed their appreciation of the meeting with the Council of Ministers and discussed issues that are critical of the next stage. The State Council affirmed the resolve to achieve more coordination with the Council of Ministers to achieve the intended goals. The meeting highlighted a number of issues, including supporting coordination between the state institutions and activating the State Council role in providing proposals and studies on preserved social values and supporting sustainable development in order to maximize achievements for the country under the wise leadership of His Majesty the Sultan. The Foreign Ministry stated that the Embassy of the Sultan of Oman to the Republic of Sudan evacuated a number of Omani citizens and their families, as well as Sudanese families residing in the Sultan of Oman from the Sudanese capital Khartoum and other regions, and secured their arrivals at the Sultan of Oman. The efforts are still ongoing to evacuate remaining Omani citizens and residents in other Sudanese cities. The Minister expressed appreciation of the Sultan of Oman to the brotherly Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for their cooperation and facilitation of the evacuation process through Jeddah, through the Saudi Navy. The Ministry expressed their appreciation to the Arab League of Egypt in facilitating the entry of a number of citizens and residents through its land ports. Under the patronage of His Excellency, the Minister of Heritage and Tourism, Al Madina Real Estate Company officially launches sales of residential units at Hayl Al Sahil tourism project in the Muscat Governorate. More details in the following report.
In a celebration held this morning amid presence of officials from public and private sectors and a large number of investors, real estate brokerage companies and media representative, Al Madina Real Estate Company has officially launched the sales of residential units in a Sahel neighborhood tourism project in the Wilaya of Quriyat, Muscat Governorate. The coastal project grants foreign investors permanent residence in the project that extend over an area of 1,300 million square meters on the seashore and includes 3, 4 and 5-star hotels, luxury residential units, a golf academy and equestrian academy, a boulevard and a chain of international restaurants and cafes, in addition to garden greens, spaces, sports clubs and environmentally friendly greenhouses.
Hayy Al Sahil is a tourism integrated complex, which is, allowing freehold ownership to all nationalities. So, Oman is marking its way in the international market for, attracting direct investments in the real estate through these kind of unique projects, and Hayy Al Sahil is one of them. And we are happy today that we have launched the sales of the freehold units, and we have the platform that is open internationally. So, and we have also approved agents in UAE, in Saudi, Kuwait, and other places. And we will also continue to attract more real estate agents to offer these units internationally.
The project is vital and important project and the first integrated tourism project in the Wilaya of Quriyat, Muscat Governorate, under the freehold system with permanent residence for foreigners.
Hayy Al Sahil as an integrated tourism project, we're expecting to attract people from region, from Oman itself and from abroad as well. Having 3 international hotels with a lot of attractions, it will really enhance and it will encourage people to visit Quriyat, and because there are a lot of sightseeing also within Quriyat. So this project will be marketing Quriyat in better way.
The first phase includes preparing the infrastructure of the project at a cost of 40 million Omani Riyals, with the development of 400 housing units on an area of 45,000 square meters, in addition to a 4-star hotel consisting of 220 hotels units, including 100 hotel chalets, and extends over an area of more than 53,000 square meters on the waterfront of the project, as well as Presidential Commercial District's Boulevard on an area of 53,000 square meters, greenhouses, bicycle walkway, halls for events and celebrations, aerobic park, and a breed of restaurants with a stunning view of the components of the project, which aims to highlight the heritage identity of the Wilaya and the Sultanate in general. It's worth mentioning that up to this point, 42.5% have been already sold. This vital project contributes to the realization of Oman's Vision 2040, which aims to achieve optimal attraction of tourism potentials that the Sultanate abounds in at the natural, heritage, cultural and other levels. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
Developments in implementing the social work strategy 2021-2030 and issues related to the development of services and municipal works in various aspects were discussed by the Municipal Council meeting in Dhofar Governorate. The meeting also reviewed the proposals to establish manpower housing in accordance with legal and health requirements and standards and activate the role of the competent authorities to organize them, in addition to applying regulations and requirements related to security and safety specifications for commercial activities. The meeting reviewed the latest preparations for the application of meter systems for calculating the fare and systems capable of promoting the growth of transport sector. The meeting was chaired by His Highness Sayyid Marwan bin Turki Al Said, Governor of the FAR and Chairman of the Council. The Municipal Council, in the Governorate of Al-Lahira, held its fourth meeting to discuss a number of issues, including the first and second phase of the government fees, pricing and complaints of phone and internet network, covering issues of the residential areas. The Council invited officials from Telecommunications Regulatory Authority to discuss the challenges and review potential solutions and proposals. The Council also discussed the status of illegal appropriation of lands and the truck lands in Ivory Road, and introducing the postpaid electricity meters to consumers. The Municipal Council of North Al-Sharqiyya Governorate discussed the maintenance of the Ibra Dima Al Tayin Road, Al Hayma Mahlak Road, and the projects are proposed to be visited and reviewed. The meeting also discussed the development of monitoring and follow-up work in commercial establishments, especially establishments that provide meals and services to the public, in addition to discuss the initiative to establish and implement a palm walkway in the village of Shahak in Wilaya of Al-Bidiyah. On the sidelines of the meeting, the Council hosted North Sharqiyya municipality officials to discuss and raise issues related to municipal work in the Governorate. The Municipal Council of South Sharqiyya Governorate discussed the workshop on the Municipal Council law and the executive regulations, in addition to approving the minutes of the third session of this year. The Council also discussed the medical examination system for expatriates and the environmental damage resulting from the climatic conditions and the impact on public and private property and public health. The Council was briefed on the committee's responses about the deterioration of fisheries in the Wilaya of Al-Masira and the project of beautifying the southern entrance of the village of Faraj Al-Mashaykh in the Wilaya of Ja'lan Bani Abu Hassan. The Municipal Council in the Governorate of Al-Wusta held its fourth meeting of the third period of the year 2023. The meeting addressed a number of development issues, including lighting of internal roads and water network for the wilayas of Governorate. The Council also reviewed updates of ongoing projects to raise the appropriate recommendations. To cover news bulletin, immersive tourist attractions in Jian were enabling visitors to travel through Tang Dynasty. Welcome back to the news from the Sultan of Oman Television. His Excellency Salim bin Mohammed Al Mahrouqi, Minister of Heritage and Tourism, received Her Excellency Rola Maayai, Minister of Tourism and Antiquities of the State of Palestine. During the meeting, they reviewed the course of bilateral relations between the two countries and discussed aspects of existing cooperation in various fields related to the heritage and tourism sectors. The two sides also discussed the Memorandum of Understanding to be signed between the two sides in the field of heritage and tourism, followed by the executive program in the field of capacity building, expertise, investment and management of tourist and historical sites and attractions. The Royal Oman Police received a new batch of citizens holding a general education diploma and post-general education diploma in specialization of engineering, chemistry and information technology. Those enrolled will undergo a comprehensive program that includes military, legal, and academic training, in addition to practical applications and basic knowledge in police sciences. The total traded value of real estate in the Sultanate of Oman increased by 24.3% to reach 730 million and 100,000 Omani Riyals by the end of last March, compared to the same period last year. The National Center for Statistics and Information indicated that the fees collected for all legal actions increased by 14% to reach 18,500,000 Omani Riyals, while traded value of sales contract decreased by 1.5%. And the number of sales contracts decreased by 10.8%. The traded value of the mortgage contracts increased by 52.3%. Meanwhile, the number of projects or properties issued increased by 1.9%, and the number of the properties issued to citizens of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries increased by 54.2%. As the ancient capital of 13 Chinese dynasties, Xi'an has long been not a hot tourist attraction. Its historical and cultural attractions have inspired other cities to develop creative cultural tourism. Here is a report.
Immersive tourist attractions in Xi'an are enabling visitors to travel through the Tang dynasty and experience a day in the life of the people from that time. Xi'an, capital city of northwest China's Shaanxi province, was called Chang'an when it served as the imperial seat of the Tang dynasty. In a cultural attraction called The Longest Day in Chang'an, named after a well-known Chinese novel and TV series, visitors can become a Tang dynasty citizen and immerse themselves in the culture of the era. The attraction is the first of its kind to immerse Chinese visitors in Tang dynasty-style culture. Visitors can wear costumes, play escape room games, enjoy food, and watch dozens of large-scale artistic performances.
When the tourists step into the longest day in Chang'an area, they can personally experience the daily life of people from the Tang dynasty. The tourists are the leading actors. It's a kind of immersion into the play, which creates the traditional cultural atmosphere of our whole block and highlights the unique charm of traditional Chinese culture.
At the tourist landmark of the Tang Everbright City, a 2,100-meter-long pedestrian mall in Xi'an, an amusing and interactive performance featuring Tang dynasty culture takes audiences on a journey crossing time and space. Since its opening in April last year, the cultural attraction has received more than 2 million visits. As the ancient capital of 13 Chinese dynasties, Xi'an has long been a hot tourist attraction. Its historical and cultural attractions have inspired other cities to develop creative cultural tourism.
This is the Sultan of Oman Television. Before tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Highness Sayyid Fahad bin Mahmoud Al Saeed receives the Chairman of the State Council and honourable members of the Council within the framework of the joint coordination between the Council of Ministers and the Council of Oman. Sales of residential units of Hay Al Sahil project in the Wilaya of Quriyat is launched. And the municipal councils in the governorates of Dhofar, Al-Zahira, North and South Al-Shariqiyya and Al-Wusfa discuss the developing services and projects in the wilaya of the governorates. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin from our Bulletin newsroom and the studios. Good night.